The collapse. The warship was silent except for the hum of its engines. Corridors stretched long and cold. Dim blue lights glowing on each side. Humans were rare in these parts, but Daniel, an engineer assigned to repair one of the auxiliary reactors, moved calmly through the steel passage. His tool case rattled lightly with each step. Then a sound broke the silence, a sharp echo of stumbling feet. Daniel turned and froze. An alien woman, tall and elegant in her shimmering uniform, was struggling to walk. Her legs trembled as though gravity itself had betrayed her. She reached for the wall, fingers clawing against the metal surface. But her balance failed. She almost collapsed, her voice rising in fury. "Why can't I walk straight, human?" she shouted, her words carrying both anger and fear. "What did you do to me?" Daniel blinked, confused. He had never seen her before. Her skin had a faint silver hue, eyes glowing like molten gold. She looked like nobility, someone who was used to command, not weakness, around them. Alien guards began to gather, their weapons drawn, their sharp gazes locked on Daniel. "I didn't touch her," Daniel said calmly, raising his hands. "I didn't do anything." The alien woman glared at him, fury burning in her eyes. Her body swayed unsteadily, and she nearly fell again. 2 guards rushed to catch her, but she pushed them away with trembling hands. Pride was written on her face, pride and rage. She would not show weakness in front of her soldiers. "You lie, human," she hissed. "Since you came aboard, my strength has faded. My legs betray me. My body feels strange. You have done something to me," the guard shouted, pointing weapons at Daniel. "Poisoner! Saboteur, he is guilty." Daniel stood still, his voice steady. "I'm only an engineer. I came to repair the reactor. Not to harm your people," but his calmness only made them angrier. How could a human stand so confident while their princess, their commander, faltered before them? Whispers spread among the guards. Fear and suspicion poisoned the air. The alien woman gritted her teeth and tried to step forward. But again her legs betrayed her. She stumbled, and this time Daniel stepped forward instinctively, catching her before she hit the ground. Gasps filled the corridor. Weapons clicked louder. "Ready to fire, do not touch me," she spat, shoving against his chest. Yet even in her fury, she leaned on him for a heartbeat. As if her body itself betrayed her pride, Daniel slowly let her go. Hands raised again, his calm eyes met hers. And for a moment she hesitated. There was no fear in him, no panic, only steady silence. That unsettled her more than anything. The guards dragged him back, pressing cold weapons against his skin. "You will answer for this, human," one snarled. The woman straightened with effort. Her legs still shaking, she lifted her chin, her voice filled with command despite her weakness. "Bring him to the council chamber. Let them hear his lies. Let them see what kind of danger this human is." Daniel said nothing. His silence carried weight, a quiet defiance that only added to the mystery. As they escorted him down the corridor, the alien woman followed, her steps uneven. Every few feet she stumbled, but her pride kept her standing. The guards avoided her gaze. Fearful of witnessing her weakness, none dared whisper. But in their hearts they all wondered, what had the human done to her? In the council chamber, golden lights shimmered above vast stone pillars. Alien lords and generals sat in curved rows, their eyes sharp and cold. At the center, Daniel was forced to kneel. The alien woman stood before them, still swaying slightly, but her voice was clear. "This human has broken my strength," she declared. "Look at me. I cannot walk straight. My balance is gone, my power is fading." And it began the moment he stepped aboard. The chamber filled with murmurs. Some shouted for his execution. Others demanded investigation. Fear spread like wildfire. For if one human could weaken their princess, what else could humanity do? Daniel finally spoke, his voice quiet but sharp. "You are wrong. I did not harm you, but perhaps your body is responding to something you do not understand." His words echoed, mysterious, leaving the council uneasy. The alien woman's eyes narrowed. Her anger burned, but deep inside, a shadow of fear stirred. She did not want to admit it, but she could feel it. Something inside her was changing. She clenched her fists, glaring down at him. "You will tell me the truth, human," she whispered coldly, "or I will tear it from you." But Daniel only met her gaze, unshaken. His silence was heavier than any threat. And as the council argued, as guards tightened their grip on their weapons, one question filled the chamber like thunder. What secret did this human carry? The accusation, the council chamber burned with whispers. Golden light reflected on walls carved with ancient symbols. Dozens of alien lords leaned forward, their sharp eyes fixed on the trembling figure of their princess. Her hands clenched as she stood tall, though her knees threatened to betray her with each moment. "This human is guilty," she declared, her voice ringing like a blade through the chamber. "Since his arrival, my body has been corrupted. I cannot walk straight, I cannot hold my strength. He has poisoned me with something unseen." Gasps rippled through the chamber. A counselor slammed his clawed hand against the table. "Then execute him now," he roared. "Do not give his kind the chance to spread their plague among us." Others nodded, their faces pale with unease, yet a few hesitated. "What proof do you have, princess?" An elder asked, his voice calm but heavy with suspicion. "Humans are weak, fragile creatures, they cannot harm you so easily." The princess turned, her golden eyes flashing. "Do you think I would lie?" she demanded. "Do you not see me struggle to stand before you? I, who once fought 10 warriors at once, now stumble like a drunk." And it began the moment this human crossed our halls. Her words struck like lightning. The guards tightened their grip on Daniel's arms. Forcing him lower to the ground, he did not resist. His calm eyes scanned the chamber, watching the fear grow like fire in dry wood. Finally, a deep voice rumbled. The High Chancellor, draped in robes of crimson, leaned forward. His gaze pierced Daniel. "Human, do you deny these charges? Did you bring poison, infection, or trickery aboard this ship?" Daniel's voice was steady, unshaken. "I brought only tools to repair your reactor. I carry no poison, I speak no lies, what you fear may not be harm. But something else." The chamber fell into silence. His words were too calm, too mysterious. Suspicion thickened like smoke. The princess's fury burned hotter. "Something else?" she hissed. She staggered forward, leaning on the table for balance. Her hand shook as she pointed at him. "Do not play with us, human. My body burns. My blood feels different, my legs betray me. You will confess what you have done." Daniel met her gaze, his voice low. "Perhaps it is not what I have done, but what you have become." The council erupted. Shouts filled the hall. Some demanded his death. Others whispered of dark curses. The alien guards pressed their weapons to his back, ready to end him at a word. The princess staggered again, almost falling, but caught herself at the last second. Her pride burned through her weakness. "Do you hear him? He taunts us, he believes himself beyond our judgment. If you let him live, you risk our empire's safety." The High Chancellor raised a hand, silencing the chamber. His eyes never left Daniel. "There is more here than we understand," he said slowly. "We will not kill him yet. Instead, he will remain under guard. If he holds a secret, we will tear it from him piece by piece." The guards dragged Daniel toward the holding cells. His steps were calm, unhurried, as if none of this frightened him, as if he already knew what would come. The princess watched him go, her chest heaving with fury. But beneath her anger, a strange chill twisted in her heart. Why was she so unsettled? Why did the human's calm eyes haunt her more than her own weakness? That night, alone in her chamber, she tried to stand without trembling. She failed, falling hard against the bed, her breath ragged, her pride bleeding with every gasp. She clutched her chest and whispered into the silence, "What did you do to me?" Her words echoed like a curse, unanswered in the dark. But somewhere in the shadows of the warship, Daniel sat in his cell, eyes closed, as if waiting for the storm he knew would come. And above them all, the council whispered in fear, "If one human can do this, what would happen if many of them arrived?" The secret effect. The warship drifted in the endless dark of space, yet inside its walls tension boiled hotter than any star. The princess had tried to sleep, but her body would not let her. Her legs twitched, her heartbeat raced, her skin burned as though some unseen fire lived beneath it. She sat upright, gasping. Rage filled her mind, but beneath the anger was something else, fear, confusion, and a strange pull she could not understand. Her people had fought countless species across the galaxy. None had ever touched her so deeply. None had made her body betray her. At dawn, she stormed into the council's chamber again, though her steps were still unsteady. The High Chancellor and the gathered lords watched her closely. Behind her, scientists entered with scanning devices and glowing crystals. They bowed and began their work. "We examined her blood," the lead scientist announced, his voice echoing across the chamber. "Something inside her is changing." A murmur spread through the crowd. The princess's jaw tightened. "Changing? Explain yourself." The scientist's eyes flicked toward Daniel, who was dragged into the chamber by guards. Shackled but calm as always, his gaze did not waver. He looked more like a man observing than a prisoner awaiting judgment. It is not poison, the scientist continued. It is not disease, her body is adapting. As though something in her very cells is rewriting itself, the chamber erupted. Counselors hissed in fear. Some demanded execution. Others whispered dark prophecies. The princess slammed her fist against the table. Do not speak riddles. What caused this? The scientist hesitated, his eyes lingering on the human again. It began the moment she came near him. All eyes turned to Daniel. He stood tall despite the chains. His silence pressed against the chamber heavier than any words. The princess's fury burst like thunder. She pointed at him with a trembling hand. You admit it now. You are the cause. My body bends because of you, human. Daniel finally spoke, his voice quiet but sharp enough to cut the silence. Not because of what I did, but because of what you are. The words struck her harder than a blade. She staggered back, her golden eyes narrowing. What I am? Explain yourself. Daniel's calm gaze never left hers. Your people call humans weak, fragile, unworthy of respect. Yet when you touched me, your body responded. It is not weakness that fills you now, but change. Your strength is not gone, it is being remade. The chamber fell deathly still. Fear coiled around every counselor like chains. The thought was unthinkable, impossible, yet the scans did not lie. The princess's voice cracked with anger, but also with something else she could not name. You mean to say, I am becoming like you? Daniel's lips curved into the faintest shadow of a smile. Not like me, princess, something greater. Something your people fear. The council erupted once more. The High Chancellor slammed his staff against the ground. Enough, he bellowed. We will not allow this contagion to spread. Human, you will remain under watch, and princess? Until we understand what has happened, you will not be allowed to leave the ship. The princess's fury shook the chamber, but deep inside, a colder truth haunted her. Daniel's words echoed in her heart. Was she truly changing? And if so, was it curse or evolution? That night, she stood before the mirror in her private chamber. Her reflection stared back, eyes glowing brighter than before. Her skin shimmered faintly, like starlight beneath her flesh. She pressed trembling hands against her chest, whispering, What are you doing to me, human? In the holding cell below, Daniel sat cross-legged, eyes closed as if in meditation. His voice whispered softly, words only he could hear. It has begun. The furious demand, the princess stormed into the holding cells, her golden robes trailing behind her like fire. Guards stepped aside quickly, none daring to block her path. Her body still swayed with weakness, but her eyes burned brighter than ever. Daniel sat calmly on the cold bench, his chains resting loosely around his wrists. He did not rise when she entered. He only looked at her with the same steady gaze that had unsettled her since the first moment. You will stand when I enter, she hissed, her voice sharp. You will show respect to the blood of the Empire. Daniel tilted his head slightly, his calm voice breaking the silence. Respect is earned, not demanded. Her fury sparked like lightning. She slammed her hand against the wall, the echo ringing through the cell. Do not speak to me like that, human. You have poisoned me. You have humiliated me before my people, and still you dare speak with such arrogance. Daniel's eyes did not waver. I did not poison you, he said, his tone calm. I changed nothing. It is your body that responds, not my will. Her hands trembled. She hated the way his words cut through her, hated the way her own heart raced. It was as if his calmness itself was a weapon. Then explain, she shouted, her voice cracking. Explain why my legs betray me, why my strength falters, why every moment near you feels like I am burning from the inside. Daniel leaned forward slightly, the chains clinking softly. His voice was low, almost a whisper, but each word struck her like a hammer. Because you are not weakening. You are awakening. Her breath caught in her throat. For a heartbeat, her pride faltered, but anger quickly replaced it. She grabbed him by the collar, dragging him close. Her golden eyes blazed into his. You think I will accept such riddles? You think I will believe this madness? No, human, you will tell me the truth, and if you do not, I will break you. Daniel's calm never broke. He looked directly into her eyes and said quietly, Perhaps that is what you fear the most, not that I broke you, but that I awakened something you cannot control. Her grip tightened. Her pride screamed at her to strike him, to silence his words, yet her hand trembled. She hated it, hated the way her body refused to obey, hated the way his gaze saw deeper than her own people ever could. With a furious cry, she released him and turned away. Her chest rose and fell with ragged breaths. You will not win, human. You will not make me weak. I will command the council to strip you apart. To tear every secret from your flesh, Daniel spoke softly behind her. And when they do, princess, what will you do if they find the secret is not in me, but in you? She froze, her body stiff. The words cut deeper than any blade. Slowly she turned, her face a mask of fury hiding fear. You will regret this, she whispered. You will regret ever stepping aboard this ship. She stormed out, the door slamming behind her, but her heart pounded as if she had left something behind. Her pride told her he was a liar, an enemy. Yet her body whispered something else, a strange truth she dared not speak. That night she stood again before the mirror. Her reflection glowed faintly in the dim light. Her eyes were brighter. Her skin carried a shimmer that was not there before. She touched the glass, whispering to herself, I am not weak. I am not weak. Yet in the darkness of her chamber, her whisper trembled like a confession, and in the cell below, Daniel closed his eyes, whispering a single word into the silence, soon. The dangerous bond, the Empire's finest scientists filled the laboratory, their silver tools glowing as they examined the princess's blood. Strange symbols danced on their screens, numbers rising and falling like storm waves. At the center, the princess sat with defiance, though her body still trembled with every breath. You will tell me the truth, she commanded, her voice sharp. What is happening to me? The lead scientist, a veteran with scaled skin, bowed his head nervously. Your Highness, your body is not failing. It is transforming. Your cells are no longer the same. They are adapting to something new. The princess's golden eyes narrowed. Adapting? To what? The scientist swallowed, his gaze flicking toward the guards who stood over Daniel in chains. To him, gasps filled the room. The guards shifted uneasily, their weapons tightening in their hands. All eyes turned toward Daniel. His calm face betrayed nothing, but his silence weighed heavier than thunder. The princess slammed her hand on the table. Explain. The scientist's voice shook. When you came close to the human, your blood began to rewrite itself. It absorbs energy that matches his unique pattern. Your body is not weakening. It is becoming something it was never meant to be. The room erupted in chaos. Some scientists whispered of forbidden legends. Others demanded Daniel's immediate death. One counselor shouted, If their presence can change our royal blood, what will happen if more humans arrive? Will they bend our entire race to their will? Fear spread like wildfire. The princess's pride burned hotter than ever. She stood, her body swaying, but her eyes bright with rage. No human will control me, she declared. No human will shape my blood. I am heir to the Empire, not some weak creature to be molded. She marched forward, demanding that Daniel be brought before her. The guards dragged him into the chamber once more, his chains clinking against the floor. You, she spat, her voice like fire. Whatever you are doing to me, you will stop it now. I will not be a pawn in your secret war. Daniel lifted his head slowly, his calm gaze locked on hers, his voice low but steady. I told you before, princess. I did not do this to you. Your body chose it. Not me, her fists clenched. Lies. My body obeys no one but me. Daniel's faint smile unsettled her more than her weakness. Then why does it betray your pride every time you come near me? Her chest heaved, her heart pounded like drums of war. She wanted to strike him, to silence him. Yet deep inside she knew the truth. Every step near him made her stronger and weaker at the same time. Her blood no longer felt like her own. Do you think this is victory? She hissed. Do you think making me stumble is proof of your kind's power? Daniel's voice was calm, but it carried a weight that silenced the room. This is not proof of power, princess. This is proof of connection. What happens to you is not a weapon. It is a bond, one your people cannot control. The words struck her like lightning. Her pride screamed in denial, but her body trembled with the truth of it. The High Chancellor's voice thundered through the hall. Enough! This bond is dangerous. If the human can change the very blood of our princess, then he must be executed before the infection spreads. No, the princess shouted before she realized the word had escaped her lips. The chamber froze, dozens of eyes turning toward her in shock. Her cheeks burned, her voice cracked. I mean, not yet. He must live until we understand more. Kill him now and we may never know the full danger. But deep inside, she knew it was not fear of danger that stayed her hand. It was something else, something she dared not name. As the guards dragged Daniel back to his cell, their eyes filled with suspicion, the princess stood trembling in silence, her pride wrapped around her like armor. Yet cracks had formed for the first time in her life. She feared not the strength of an enemy, but the strength of her own heart. That night she dreamed of Earth, a world she had never seen. Yet in her sleep she walked its forests, felt its winds, heard voices whispering of fire and survival. When she woke, her skin shimmered brighter, her veins glowing faintly like stars. She stared into the mirror, whispering, "This is not weakness. This is something else." And far below, Daniel opened his eyes in the darkness of his cell, a faint smile touching his lips. "The bond is growing," he whispered. The turning point. The council chamber burned with unease, voices clashed like steel. Some shouted for war, others demanded silence. Yet all eyes kept turning to the princess, who stood trembling at the center. Her golden eyes glowed brighter than ever, her skin faintly shining as though starlight had entered her veins. She slammed her hand against the table, her voice cutting through the chaos. "Enough!" she roared. "This council hides behind fear. But fear will not save us. This human is no ordinary creature. And I will have answers now." The guards brought Daniel forward again. His chains rattled, but he walked as if the weight did not exist. Calm, steady, unbroken. His silence pressed against every soul in the chamber like a storm waiting to break. The princess stepped closer, her breath ragged, her body trembling. "You," she spat, "you have invaded me. You have touched my blood, my strength, even my dreams. What are you, human? What curse have you placed upon me?" Daniel's eyes rose slowly, meeting hers without fear. His voice was quiet but sharp. "Not a curse, princess. A mirror." Her eyes narrowed, confusion mixing with fury. "A mirror?" Daniel's gaze swept across the council, his words echoing in the silence. "Your people see humans as weak, fragile, unworthy. Yet when your body touched mine, it remembered something you had forgotten. It remembered struggle, it remembered survival. It remembered what it means to fight not with privilege, but with pain." Gasps filled the chamber. The counselors leaned back in unease. The princess's hands shook, her pride screaming to deny his words, yet her heart trembled with a strange recognition. She hissed, her voice cracking, "You dare to say my body chose this? That I—" She faltered, her knees buckling for a moment before she forced herself upright. "That I needed you." Daniel's voice did not rise, but each word cut deep. "Not me, Princess Humanity. You are not weakening because of me. You are awakening because of what we are." The chamber erupted, shouts of terror filled the air. If one human can do this to our heir, what happens if more arrive? What if they twist us all into their image? The High Chancellor's staff struck the ground, his voice trembling with rage. "This cannot be allowed. This is corruption, infection. If humans can change us, then they are the greatest threat the galaxy has ever faced." The princess turned on him, her eyes blazing. "And what if it is not infection?" she shouted. "What if it is evolution?" The chamber froze, her words cut through the noise like a blade. She herself was stunned by what had escaped her lips. For a heartbeat, she felt the truth of it. Her blood no longer felt broken, it felt alive, stronger, different. The council erupted again, voices clashing in panic. Some demanded Daniel's immediate death. Others argued to study him further. Fear twisted into hatred. The princess staggered forward, grabbing Daniel by his chains, dragging him closer. Her golden eyes burned into his calm gaze. "You will answer me now, human. You will tell me what is happening to me, to my people, to my blood." Daniel leaned closer, his voice a whisper only she could hear. "You already know, princess, that is why you fear it. And that is why you cannot let me die." Her breath caught. Her pride screamed to deny it, yet her heart hammered with truth. She hated him for the calm in his eyes. Hated him for the way her body no longer obeyed her pride. Hated him because deep inside, part of her did not want him to stop. The High Chancellor rose, his voice thunderous. "This ends now, guards, prepare the execution." "No," the princess shouted, stepping between Daniel and the Chancellor's decree. Her voice shook, but her body glowed brighter. "He lives until I say otherwise," the chamber gasped. Whispers spread like fire. The heir to the Empire had defied the council to protect a human. Her face burned with shame, but her words were law. As Daniel was dragged back to his cell, a faint smile touched his lips. The council feared him, the guards hated him. But the bond was no longer his alone. It lived inside their princess now. That night she dreamed again, not of war or glory, but of a small blue planet under the light of a single sun. She walked its forests, felt its storms, heard the laughter of children and woke with tears burning her eyes. She touched her chest, whispering into the silence, "What are you doing to me, human? What am I becoming?" And in his cell, Daniel whispered into the dark, "The turning point has come." The revelation, the Grand Council gathered once more. Their golden chamber filled with the weight of fear. Every noble, every general, every advisor spoke at once. Voices clashed like storms. Some demanded war against humanity. Others begged for isolation. But no one dared speak without glancing at the princess, who now stood brighter than any light in the hall. Her body no longer trembled. Her golden eyes glowed like fire. Her skin shimmered faintly with the strange new light that lived in her veins. She stood taller than she ever had before, yet inside her heart beat with both fear and acceptance. The High Chancellor's voice silenced the chamber. "This human has cursed our blood. If his kind can twist our very nature, then humanity must be erased before their infection spreads across the stars." The crowd roared in agreement. Soldiers pounded their fists. The Empire trembled with rage and fear. But then the princess raised her hand. Her voice rang through the chamber like thunder. "Silence!" The room froze. Every eye turned to her. She stepped forward. Each step steady now, her pride unbroken. "You call this weakness," she said, her voice sharp. "But look at me. Do I appear weak to you now?" Gasps spread through the chamber. Her glow was undeniable. Her aura filled the air with energy none of them had ever felt before. The princess's voice grew stronger. "You say the human poisoned me, but he did not. You say he corrupted me, but he did not. What he gave me was something your fear refuses to see." Her gaze swept the council. Her chest rose and fell with power. "This is not weakness, this is awakening. Humanity is not a disease, they are a mirror. And through them I have seen what we lost." The council erupted with shouts, "Treason!" Some cried, "Madness!" Others screamed, yet none could deny the light burning in her eyes. The High Chancellor slammed his staff. "Enough! You have been infected with their lies. You no longer speak as heir to the Empire. You speak as their servant." The princess's fury blazed. She lifted her chin proudly. "No, I speak as something greater than heir. I speak as one who has seen the truth. Humanity is not here to break us. They are here to show us what we could become." The words cut through the chamber. Daniel, still in chains, lifted his head. His calm eyes met hers. And for the first time he smiled fully, as though the moment he had waited for had finally come. The High Chancellor pointed at him, his voice shaking with rage. "Kill him now." But the princess moved faster than the guards. Her body glowed with sudden strength, and in one motion she tore Daniel's chains apart with her bare hands. Gasps filled the chamber. Soldiers stepped back in fear, for no weapon of theirs could have broken those bindings. The princess stood beside him, her voice echoing like thunder. "If you call this corruption, then I am proud to be corrupted. If you call this weakness, then I will lead with weakness stronger than your fear. Humanity is not our end. They are our beginning." The chamber fell into chaos. Some bowed their heads in shock, others screamed for war. But none could deny that something had changed. The air itself felt different. Daniel looked at her quietly, his voice steady. "You understand now, princess, it was never about me, it was about you. About all of you." Her chest tightened. For once her anger faded, replaced with something deeper, a strange respect, even a dangerous warmth. She looked at him and whispered so only he could hear, "Stay with me, human, whatever comes. Stay." He nodded once, calm as ever. The council had no answers. The Empire trembled on the edge of chaos, and the galaxy whispered a question it had never dared before. If one human could awaken the blood of an empire, what would happen when humanity's armies arrived?